Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about circle functions, mostly area and circumference. So let's get into it. First of all, we should refresh ourselves um, about the parts of a circle. All right, so here we see a circle. And here we have the parts of the circle identified. This is the center. It's usually identified with a point in the very middle of the circle. All right, so this is the center. This line that goes through the center and connects two parts on your circumference is called the diameter. All right, it's the full width of the circle passing through the center. All right, um, a line segment from the center to only one part of the circumference only is your radius. All right, this is your radius. Radius is smaller than the diameter. Diameter is the full width. The radius is only from the center to the circumference. And of course, since I've named it, I've referenced it a few times here, the perimeter of your circle is the circumference. It's the round part of the circle. A couple important things to know. Your radius is always 1/2 the diameter. So if you know your diameter, you can multiply it by 1/2 or divide it by 2 to find the radius. Right? And your diameter is 2 times the radius. So if you know your radius, you can multiply it by 2 to find your diameter. All right, let's get into the functions. Okay, so we're going to do the circumference function first. The circumference function is c equals pi times diameter, all right, or c equals pi times radius times 2. But we're just going to go with pi times diameter anyway, since your diameter is already 2 times your radius. We want to remember that if you have a radius, you'll have to double it to find your diameter, and we're going to use the number 3.14 for pi. Okay. So in my table, I have a circle with a radius of 3, which automatically gives it a diameter of 6. All right. So if I plug that into my formula, I get c equals 3.14 times 6. My circumference is 18.84. Here I have a circle with a radius of 4, which makes my diameter 8. Okay, so if I plug that into my formula, I have c equals 3.14 times 8. So I multiply that. I get a circumference of 25.12. All right, here I have a circle with a radius of 7. I need my diameter, so I double it. I multiply it by 2. I have a diameter of 14. All right, so if I plug that into my formula, I get c equals 3.14 times 14. So 3.14 times 14 give me a circumference of 43.96. Okay. Here I have a circle with a radius of 8. So if I multiply that by 2, I'll get a diameter of 16. Plug that into my formula, 3.14 times 16. I will get a circumference of 50.24. Easy, right? How about area? All right, we're going to use the following formula for area. The area of a circle equals pi times the radius squared. Remember that squaring a number means you're multiplying it by itself. You're not just multiplying it by 2. And we have to use a radius. So if you're given a diameter, you have to divide it by 2 to find the radius. All right, so if you have a circle with a radius of 2 and a diameter of 4, you plug it into your function this way. So area equals 3.14 times 2 squared. You have to square 2 first in your order of operations. So 2 squared is 4, and then 4 times 3.14 is 12.56. All right, next we have a circle with a radius of 3 and a diameter of 6. So we plug that into our formula, and we get A equals 3.14 times 3 squared. You have to square 3 first. 3 squared is 9 because it's 3 times 3. So 9 times 3.14 will give us an area of 28.26. Okay, next we have a circle where all we know is the diameter of 7. We need a radius to do this properly. So we have to divide our radius by 2. We have to divide our diameter by 2 to get our radius. So 7 divided by 2 will be 3.5. If we plug that into our formula, area equals 3.14 times 3.5 squared. Okay, so 3.5 squared, that's 3.5 times 3.5 is 12.24. We multiply that by 3.14, we get 38.465. All right, finally we have a circle with a diameter of 12.6. So to get the radius, we have to divide that by 2, and we get a radius of 6.3. So we plug that in. So our area equals 3.14 times 6.3 squared. So we have to square 6.3 first. All right, and multiply that by 3.14, and we get an area of 124 point, we're going to round it to 0.6, 124.6. All right, thank you. That's all we have for circle functions.